teens also have the option of judicial bypass if they want to go around their parents instead of asking. But judicial bypass is described as being detrimental to emotional well-being because adolescents perceive the court proceedings as extremely burdensome, humiliating, and stressful. And many experts argue that judicial bypass does constitute an undue burden for teens seeking abortion care. And that's because most judges, they rule that the teens are not mature enough to understand what they're about to undergo, and they humiliate them in court, but because they have to go through talking about why they want to get an abortion and why they can't just tell their parents and ask them to help them get the abortion. And some people, or some clinics such as Planned Parenthood and other abortion clinics, they offer the option of going to another state altogether instead of having to go through the process within their own state and having to get rejected and figure out where to go from then. And Jane Stout, the director of the Indianapolis Clinic for Women, stated that she's been there for 6 years and she doesn't know anyone in Indianapolis who's gotten a judicial bypass. And a 6-state survey that included a simulated patient call to clinic staff at facilities providing abortion services revealed that only 55.6% of staff informed the minor patient of her right to a judicial bypass. So not only do teens have to deal with finding out about judicial bypass by themselves, but they also have to go through the process of going to the court or having to figure out how to go to another state altogether to try and get the judicial bypass. And even then, it's not completely certain that they're going to be able to get the abortion. So overall, parental notification would be another barrier to abortion access, along with CHAP laws, which are targeted regulation of abortion providers, and mandatory ultrasounds and counseling laws that are supposed to try to help remind teens and women before they get an abortion of the fact that they will be essentially killing the life of a young being who isn't able to think for themselves. And not only would parental notification laws be burdensome to the teen, but it would also shut off other pathways for teens to be able to talk to their parents, with verywellfamily.com saying only 20% of teens said they would talk to a physician about birth control, drug use, or sexually transmitted infections if the doctor was mandated to equate the information to their parents. So having to deal with telling their parents or having their parents find out these things about themselves instead of it coming from them, teens would essentially just shut off and not tell anyone about it, which would make it that much more dangerous for whatever they're going through, because they would have to rely on the internet or have to rely on the word of their friends who may be in the same position as them as far as their knowledge on things such as that. And according to Dr. Warren Siegel, an expert in adolescent medicine, she stated that legislation mandating parental involvement represents bad medicine and places politics before the health of our youth. Because in essence, all it's doing is thinking about the parent more than about the child in that situation, and how the child is scared and how they have to face not only the fact that they're pregnant, but also the fact that they have to tell their parent and hope that their parent can see what's best for them in that situation, since they would have no say. Thank you.